Greetings and salutations, Charlton 66 coming at you again with another video. I hope everyone is doing well. Just been catching up on some of the videos. I've been enjoying the content as I always do. It's one of those things that you just, you got to sit back and appreciate, the collectors and the fans, talking about comic books and the fun and the enthusiasm that people have. And I just love seeing what the books that people enjoy, why they enjoy them. Even books that I have, I found a different aspect of my appreciation for them by watching the videos and listening to what other people have to say about them. And again, it adds more to the hobby. So I've been enjoying, and there's too many to list, but I've been, I don't say just binge watching, but I've been using I try to comment as much as I can on the videos, but I always give a thumbs up. If you take the effort to do a video, you're gonna thumbs up from me. That's, if I watch a video, you take the effort, even if it's books that I don't like or don't collect, I still enjoy it because I like hearing what that person has to say about the book and why they like it. To each their own, as I always say. But you're gonna get a thumbs up from me. I might not comment on every single video, but you're going to get a thumbs up. So kudos to anyone who makes a video. So that's how I see about it. A few things I want to talk about. I went to the comic book store, picked up my recent issues, but I'm not going to go over that because everybody. My cat just walked in, so I gotta pet her. So I don't want to go over the recent issues because everyone, goes over recent issues, and I don't want to use my video time. I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes by talking about that. But some of the stuff I picked up, there's a cartoonist that I really like named Seth. Real name is Gregory Gallant is his real name, but he goes by the name of Seth. And they put out a book, which is really cool on how they did it, called Seth's Dominion. It's a biography on Seth, but they did it in a very cool way. It's a two-sided book. One side, this is a picture of Seth right here. And for him, everything's in the 1920s and 30s, the way he dresses and what he collects and that kind of thing, from my understanding. You see pictures of him, he looks like he came out in the late 20s or late 30s. But Luke Chamberlain did this book. This part here, the first part, is autobiographical. There's pictures, family photographs, that type of stuff. Him when he was young, things of Seth back in the 80s. And just different. Just different pictures and photographs and that kind of thing. And there's a DVD on this side of about Seth. It's a film by Luke Chamberlain. But on the other side, it's a flip book, and it shows his illustrations. He's known. He's a very well-known cartoonist. Not to insult anyone's intelligence, but not a lot of people have heard of Seth per se. But he's done covers for the New Yorker. He's done album covers for certain certain musicians and that kind of thing. But again, it shows his artwork. Inside, just samples of what he does, buildings that he puts up, little models he makes, just spot illustrations to convey what his talent and ability. Very good cartoonist. I've read not several things, but two of the main things that I recommend is George Sprott by Seth. A picture novella by the cartoonist Seth. So it's pretty cool. This is a really richly illustrated story about George Sprott, and what when you read the story, and trying to figure out who he is and what he is. I mean, you know, what he's done in life, but it's put together by a patchwork of interviews, done in different art styles, um, where he's been, things he's done, people he's known. But you kind of find out he's not what you think that he is. You're finding things out about him that you like, you may not like. It's one of those things where it's a human portrait of someone's life, taken through the eyes of people that knew him and worked for this TV station in Canada. It's very well done. I read it several times. I recommend it. It's a big book, so it's kind of hard to read. But if you just prop yourself up, and I don't want to say it's hard to read. It's easy to read, but it's just hard to keep it up and to hold it without wanting to bend up the corners and the pages of the book. But it's really well illustrated. Seth does a phenomenal job with this. But I guarantee you, if you read it, you're into any type of cartooning, cartoonists, comic book artists, comic book work, you'll enjoy this book. Seth is phenomenal. His style, it has a lot of emotion. For a few lines, that he can convey a lot. I highly recommend it. And another book I read called "It's a Good Life If You Don't." It's a good life if you don't weaken. A picture novella by Seth. This is about him looking for searching for this lost New Yorker cartoonist named Kalo, Kalo. I'll just read the back of it really quick. It puts it in a nutshell, where better than what I can say, but it's great. It's illustrated really well. It's a nice read. I read it like once or twice a year. This new book, first ever by Eisner-nominated Seth, collects the extensive, beautifully illustrated storyline from his popular comic book series, Palookaville. Here, he vividly recounts his search for the meaning of life and the work of Kalo, a forgotten New Yorker cartoonist from the 1940s. His obsessive task takes him through the stacks of crumbling magazines in the hope of finding and ultimately holding on to a piece of vanished past. With this remarkable novella, Seth has pioneered comics with a narrative form, interspersing with each scene haunting images of remote forests, old buildings, and distant trains to convey different feelings of mood and atmosphere. So again, it's by Seth. It's recommended. You can find it on Amazon for like $10, so it's worth it. And again, I was talking about Seth's Dominion, which is such a great title, and it's a nice little setup. Like I said, the front part is the pictures, and the other side of the book is, and there it is. It's a life. It's a good life if you don't weaken. It's the front piece for in the book I just talked about. And at the end, there's a nice picture of Seth and his wife. As you can tell, looking at him, he looks like he stepped out of a Warner Brothers movie about 1935. So that's a pretty cool book to have. Also, I picked up, there was a series called Silent Invasion. I know Howler Mouse is a big fan. Tim, if you're out there, shout out to you, brother. It's a comic book series by Michael Cherkis and Larry Hancock, which was a phenomenal series. It takes place in the 50s during the Red Scare and a UFO invasion. And the protagonist, Mike Sinkage, I think that's a pretty cool name, is trying to figure out what's going on with the commies and the UFOs and all sorts of stuff. But it's illustrated really well. Very much, you think it's the 50s by looking at it. Very, I love the cars. Trying to find a scene with the cars in it. There you go. Very cool. Again, this volume came out. I've got the Renegade press that they initially came out on back in the 80s. and they were reprinted again by another comic book company, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I sent those to Tim, to Howler Mouse, so he's got those. But I like having them. I want to, anytime I can support these guys, I'm going to do it. These are like 17 bucks a piece. Yeah, $16.99. But again, they're worth having, volumes 1 and 2. It's a nice setup. You know, they read really easy. It folds in your hand really nice. The gutters is not there, not binding where you can't see the writing and the artwork from the comic book. But it's just, you know, just phenomenal of seeing the UFO here. It's just good stuff. Again, I recommend it. Again, Silent Invasion, volumes 1 and 2. And I would not end the video. I'm almost at the 15-minute mark, so I'll make this quick. Some obscure Charltons and an obscure comic book. Again, I talk about obscure Charltons because they are obscure or hard to find, just because people think of Charlton what you guys are probably thinking of Charlton right now. It's, you know, not the best company to collect, and you know, and they're not coveted and kept in nice storage, like, you know, Marvel, DC, or ECs or whatever from the same time period, the 50s. But one of the things I want to talk about is the one and only. I think I showed these off a long time ago. The one and only Nature Boy, not Ric Flair, but this Nature Boy. He got his power. He was drowning, and he got his power from these gods that give him this ability for, you know, lightning, wind, water, all sorts of abilities, and he uses to fight crime. But his claim to fame, other than being drawn by John Buscema, is this cover right here. This says it all. I know, but I love it. It's great stuff. Nature Boy riding a lightning bolt. And Nicholas Alcacci, I think that's how you say his last name. No, Giordano did this cover, and Nicholas Alcacci, I think that's how you say his last name, inked it. But it's a Giordano cover. But again, Nature Boy, which I think is kind of funny. Great title, though. I think it was only 4 or 5 issues. I think it was 5 issues. Yeah, this is number 3. It started with number 3, and I think it ended with number 5. And Hot Rods and Racing Cars, number 1. One of the people I follow on Twitter showed some hot rod racing cars on Twitter, and they were Charlton, some of the pictures. So I decided I'd do a video. I'll show my first issue, Hot Rods and Racing Cars. And this is really cool. It's the Indianapolis 500 Motor Speedway. I'm from Indiana originally, so I think that's kind of cool to have that on the cover. And last but not least, it's not a Charlton, but it's an obscure book nonetheless. It's called Superior Stories, put out by the Kiwanis Club. Not only does it have a cool cover by Pete Morisi, but I'm a big Gene Autry fan, as you can tell right here. I got a nice movie poster, and I've done videos on some Cat Pistols and other Gene Autry stuff in the past. Big fan of Gene Autry, and he's on the cover of this issue right there, which I think is kind of cool. It's Gene Autry presents a rose to a polio-stricken girl on behalf of the Kiwanis Club. So that's kind of neat. Of course, a great. There's a Texas Ranger story from O. Henry, by O. Henry, but also illustrations by Pam there. But I've never seen this before. You know, it's one of those books that I think people just discard, or you find this is not in the best of shape. But I've never seen this. Is the only one I've ever seen. I would like to get the rest of them. I think there were 4 issues. This is number 4, and it was 10 cents. I think in 1956. I think it was. And it was put out by Nesbitt Publishing or something. Yeah, Nesbitt Publishers put it out in 1955. So nice Pam drawing there of Texas Rangers storyline. Good stuff. But again, obscure book I thought I'd share. And if you find any of these superior stories running around out in the whereabouts, if you don't want them, let me know. And I'll take them off your hands. Again, there's only 4 issues. So, but anyway, that's all that I have for right now. Wish everyone well. And again, thanks for the views, the subscriptions, the comments. I enjoy them. I read every single one of them, and I do enjoy seeing what people have to say. And again, anything I can do better, or people want to see if there's anything that people think that I might have that they want to talk about or whatever. Let me know. You guys take care, and see you.